All right, welcome into another edition of That Steep. I'm Tommy Z, joined as always by Johnny Bravo, coming off a absolutely beautiful card last week. Last week, I coming into it, I wanted you to confirm some thoughts that I had, and you did. We were spot on. This one, there's some underdogs that I'm interested in. This is a very interesting card. I do think there's some value on the dogs, but how you doing? How you feeling? I know you got a trip coming up. How's the night
Doing
going?
well, doing well. Heading out on vacation tomorrow morning, leaving. Flight's leaving, so it's pretty good. I mean, locked in on this card, even though it's not the greatest of cards to dive into, but I mean, these are, usually when they're grimy like this, we usually crush. I mean, we
Yeah,
had a legendary, it was legendary last weekend. I mean, we didn't pretty much lose a bet except the cheaty KO and I had Tyra in the main event, but other than that,
yeah,
I mean, we absolutely just steamrolled the card, which
yeah.
is
And that
always
Tyro
good.
bet was close, man. That was a good fight. It's just that
Yeah,
I
it
think it
was
was the
a
fifth round.
great fight. I mean, the fucking balls on that on Royval is just
Yeah,
is
man.
crazy. I mean, that guy is just tough out. You know,
Yeah, he really
Tyra's
is.
good too. Tyra's still young. I think he's got a lot of potential to grow. He's really really good. I think he's a
Yeah,
great well-rounded fighter. But I mean, Royval just had that extra dog in him, raw dog, and
yeah, and he's
pulled
been
it
there,
out.
man. This is like what's this? His third 5 round fight in a row. So he's got the
Yeah,
experience.
I thought he probably won the fight. I was just hoping that I would get the
Yeah,
Tyra call, but
yeah. I mean,
you
I
know,
thought it came down to that fifth round, and he
and
got it. But with the
yeah.
judging, it definitely could have gone to Tyra. That wouldn't have been the craziest thing in the
Well, it
world.
was it was a split, so
Yeah. So I mean, you were there, but yeah, great card. Hopefully this card's the same way. There's definitely I've got some interest in some dogs, so I'm kind of curious.
Hold on, I want to
What you
say
think.
something. I want to say something. I'm thankful that I'm actually leaving this weekend for this card because next weekend's card is a take your pants off and just take your pants off and just watch the fights. Like
Yes, sir.
it's an amazing card next week.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Max and Taporia.
Yep.
It's like there is nothing better than that in life.
Yeah.
Like,
Those two,
yes,
man.
please.
I mean, those two are never boring, and to be facing off, that's going to be a great fight. Looking forward
Yeah,
to that one.
yeah. But we'll get through this dumpster.
Yes, sir. Let's jump right into it. The first fight on the card. I'm pretty sure I know where you're going to be on this one, but we got Austin Lane taking on Robles de Spain. De Spain, heavy knockout guy, great kickboxing. We know he can't wrestle. Austin Lane can't do much of anything. Um, what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, Despain just kind of like we thought this guy was the ultimate killer. I mean, all the footage we seen, one punch, dead, pretty much the opponent. You
Yeah,
know, but it's like he faced some resistance against against a boxer, which was kind of surprising. I mean, how he just got taken down at will and just kind of dominated, pretty much. I mean, it wasn't even a close fight. He, I would say he probably has maybe like the cardio looks like crap. Like the cardio
yeah,
he maybe has 3 minutes of cardio, 4 minutes maybe. You know, but I mean, on the feet, this guy, the on the feet, he's deadly in that first 4 minutes. I think
yeah,
and Austin Lane is just, I mean, is not very good. But
no,
I mean, his path to victory here, I mean, he's got no chin. He's at heavyweight and literally has no chin. No
right,
chin at all. So like, if you touch that chin, it's good night. Despain has that. I think he has that death touch from what I've seen from the tape. Lane's path to victory here would definitely be getting the grappling going and wrestling. Which
hmm,
I think he could probably do early because we've seen him do that early in his last fight.
yeah,
But the cardio is just not very good. I don't think.
Yeah, honestly, it's probably worse
The
than
cardio is, yeah, the cardio is probably not good. So even if he does wrestle round, my fear here is that Lane grapples early, and these guys after 5 minutes are just both completely dead. Like that is my fear, and it's just a big sloppy heavyweight. Because we've seen Despain after he was wrestled for round one against Acosta, that he was just had nothing. So maybe Lane can just gas bag a takedown and just wrestle him. But
potentially, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I eventually think Despain they want to set this kid up. They want him to so eventually I think he probably finds the button probably early and probably puts Lane to bed. Probably a highlight knockout, but it's rough to say because if Lane can lay on top of him for 5 minutes and he has nothing after 5 minutes, then it's kind of tough to say. But I'm gonna pick Despain to start him.
Yeah, me too, man. I had all the same thoughts. Like watching that Lane's last fight, I was like, yeah, maybe he could wrestle. But I mean, he gassed so hard in the second round. Like he basically knocked himself out by gassing. Like every shot that came in after that was basically getting him closer and closer to death. While Despain's cardio is not very good, he did go 3 rounds, and he did throw some decent shots in while the fight was standing in rounds 2 and 3. So, I feel like those are the shots that could put Lane out. So I think Despain, if he doesn't finish him in the first 2 minutes, which I think is more than possible, I think at some point Lane's just so tired and Despain's striking is just good enough and he gets him out of there.
Like I can totally see Despain just starching him in 1 minute. Like
yeah.
But then, like, do you want
I
to
could see betting the under half a round in this fight if it's a good enough
but
number.
do you want to lay minus 400 on the money line with Despain?
Mm-mm.
No.
I mean,
No.
If you want to throw it in like to a parlay, like just kind of juice something up a little bit, I mean, sure. I'm not going to do that though. I'm just going to probably bet his KO. I'll probably bet him first round, maybe.
But what's the KO?
Round.
The KO is going to be like minus 200. KO's like minus.
Well,
200.
if I'm figuring first round KO, you might get a decent
Get
price.
even
I
money.
haven't
even
seen
money
that
plus.
yet.
I can pull it. I got it. Do they have it? Yeah, there it is. Got it. Gotta go to good old trusty Bet Online. Despain KO round 1 minus 135.
Yeah.
So
that's tough still, but
yeah, it's rough.
I don't know.
There's no value. Like there's no value.
There's not. They don't want you to bet the fight.
Yeah.
But I do think Despain knocks him out at some point. So
Despain by KO is minus 375. His money line is minus 400. So
yeah, it's tough. I do think he gets him out. I do think he knocks him out. I'm curious to see what the under half a round looks like. I don't bet that very often, probably 3 or 4 times a year, but this might be
under half a round. Under half a round. I don't have that yet. No.
Yeah, I usually don't get those kind of numbers till Friday over here.
Yeah.
So we'll see what that comes back as, but yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, Lane, even if he has early success, he's not winning the fight. I don't think. I'd be shocked. The guy's he's here. The reason why he's on the roster is to boost up guys like Despain. I mean, there's no other reason for him to be on the roster at this point. He just gets cooked every single fight.
Yeah, he's not good.
So we can move on. We
Yeah,
spent too much time on that
we
fight.
spent a long time on the fucking heavyweight slop fest.
Yeah.
You-
Next fight on the card is a women's strawweight bout. We've got Melissa Martinez taking on Alice Arden. Martinez, she kind of decent grappling, decent striking. Not overly impressed. Arden, strong. She seems like she has pretty good wrestling. She's got pretty good size for the division. Still a lot to be determined with her. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a close fight. What are your thoughts here?
yeah, extensive tape study on Alice Arden. Um, no, but yeah, I mean Melissa Martinez, we haven't seen her in a while, and her brother just got a contract on the Contender Series. She comes from like a really good MMA. Like her parents are like in like karate and all kinds of like she's coming from a good MMA base. And I think she has a lot of talent. I think she's young, but I mean the inactivity is concerning. It's been like almost 2 years since she's last
Yeah, 2
fought,
years is a
and
long
her
time.
last performance wasn't the greatest. Maybe she had injuries. Maybe she took some times off, worked on her game. I don't know. I think she probably has potential, but it's like I don't know if it's there yet. I haven't seen it so far, but maybe the layoff helped her improve. And
Could
Ardeline,
have.
she's a big girl. Big. She pretty much got her shot here. Yeah, for abilities and her following on social media and
Mhm.
OnlyFans, and yeah, it's I mean, girl's good to look at, and yeah, but I mean, she came in on short notice against Shauna Bannon, who I don't think is very good, and I mean, I was on her on that fight. I actually bet her in that fight against Bannon, and I thought she put a good account for herself. As she came in on short notice and she kind of gassed in that third. I thought it was 1-1 going into the third, and she
Yeah.
kind of gassed in that third. She's got good wrestling. I mean, she's pretty decent. Striking, pretty decent. I mean, the grappling is good. Um, I don't know. This is a tough one to call. I'm gonna lean the dog here in Ardeline, but maybe to get some takedowns and just be the bigger girl because she's gonna be the bigger girl than Martinez. So maybe she can get the takedowns here and just kind of like be the bigger, stronger girl, more experienced. I think she's fought Wei Lee. Yeah, she's fought
Yep.
Wei Lee. I remember watching that. That was a great fight. I mean, she put on a performance. She was tough in that fight, but Wei Lee
Yeah.
eventually did what she did. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to go with Ardeline here as a dog.
Yeah, man, I'm right there with you. I honestly, when I saw her as a dog, I was like, this is definitely a dog or pass fight. Not
Low
overly
level
impressed with
women's MMA.
Martinez. The time off, obviously, you never know. I mean, we've seen fighters take time off and come back looking great.
She's
But
young though. That's the thing. She's young
that's
and she's
very
in
true.
a
Yeah,
good gym around good.
yeah.
So you know,
The thing that really put me over the edge was Martinez kind of got out wrestled by Elise Reed late in her last fight, and that's not a good sign. And I think Ardeline, she's just bigger, strong. I mean, she's big for the weight class. I'm surprised she can make the weight, but she seems to be able to do it. So I just think she's going to be stronger. I think she's going to be able to win the positions, and when it's on the feet, I think it'll be competitive. It'll be back and forth. Yeah, I think this is a dog shot all
yeah.
day. I think there's pretty good value on her. Yeah, not much more else to say, but I think just being a little bit bigger and stronger might be kind of what makes the difference. And you know
Late
what?
takedowns in a
Yeah,
close fight.
exactly.
You can get
Yeah,
those third round late takedowns in a close
yeah,
fight. Say it's 1-1 going into the third, and Ardeline gets those late takedowns.
yeah. And I
You can
thought she
swing.
fought very well on her debut. I mean, that was a
Oh
split
yeah,
decision. I
but
bet her
Bannon is
plus
shit.
3.5.
Bannon
I got
sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was plus money. You got plus money on her plus 3.5, so I bet that. So
Yeah.
that was a horrendous card for me. That was one of the few bets that I won that night. But yeah, I think as a dog, I think she's live. I think she gets it done here.
Yeah, I like it.
All right, our next fight is another women's fight. We've got another strawweight bout. We've got Jessica Penne taking on Elise Reed. This is a brutal fight. I mean, Jessica Penne's, I think she turns 41 in January. Elise Reed, she's got some decent striking, grappling, to be desired. Not a big fan of either one, but I mean, for my money, I feel like at least Elise Reed is a little bit younger. Penne, I don't know. I'm just at this point, she's very old for the division. But what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, this one is just you just pass this one altogether. You don't even bet this one. I mean, Jessica Penne, 41 years old, 22-year layoff. She's been around. I mean, she's fought for the title. She's fought the who's who. She's fought everybody.
Yeah.
But when you get to 41 years old, I mean, how you're fighting these younger girls, it's like, how much do you have left? And we've seen against Ricci, I mean, she didn't really have much.
No.
Ricci dominated her. And now, is Elise Reed on the level of Baby Shark? Probably not. No, I don't think Elise Reed is very good. I mean, I guess she would want to keep this fight if Penne wants to win, maybe she gets takedowns and maybe she sneaks in a sub and a fluke sub or something. But I think if this is on the feet, then it's just Elise Reed is just a cleaner boxer and she's going to be able to piece her up. But yeah, this is one I just want to pass altogether, especially on vacation. Not really looking to bet this one.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Yeah, I'm on Reed. Not a fan of the fight at all. But I mean, Penne's last two wins, I feel like she stole a win over Lupi Godinez, which sounds good, but I mean, it was Lupi's debut. Lupi literally threw her around the cage for 3 rounds. I have no idea how Penne won that fight. And then she armbarred Kovalevich, who's, she's decent, but she just caught an armbar. It happens. Other than that, she's been losing fight after fight. She had a lot of time off. She's older. She
has her podcast too.
Yeah.
So she's got her podcast with Angela Hill.
Yeah.
Could she be kind of focused getting out of the game? She's 41. How focused is she on this fight?
Yeah, I can't imagine she's going to be around too much longer. I mean, she's not in the title contention. She never will be. And
she's had her time, man. She was a great, back in the day, Penne was great,
and
man.
She's probably getting paid pretty well. I mean, she's had a lot of fights in the UFC.
100%.
So, why not fight out your contract? Walk out, just it is what it is. She doesn't take a lot of damage, but yeah, I mean, I'm on Elise Reed here. I do not like Elise Reed. I'll probably, if I even do bet her, it's going to be by decision. But I don't even know if that's even worth a bet. So yeah, it's probably going to be bad for me.
Let me see what I got for you. It's going to be like -110.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think if I lose a fight betting on Elise Reed.
Oh, plus 105. Plus 105.
Okay, all right. Plus money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Plus 105.
I might be interested in plus money. I mean, it's not great, but it might be worth maybe a half unit play, but that's about it. Not going crazy there. We will move on. Next fight is another women's fight.
We got 3 low-level women's MMA. This is when I'm glad I'm going on fucking vacation. We got 3 low-level women's MMA fights back to back to back.
Yeah. Got Jocelyn Edwards taking on Tamiris Vidal. Bantamweight fight. Vidal, I mean, she's got some power. Cardio's not great. She's almost like a female, really low level Derek Lewis, where maybe she can catch you with something big, but later on in the fight, it's she's probably cooked. Jocelyn Edwards, she's solid. She's got some wrestling, decent striking. She's been in the UFC for a little while. She's kind of been up and down. But yeah, I mean, I guess what's your pick here? Think it's
They
worth a
can't
bet,
they can't spread these out like
right?
we don't want to watch 3 women's fights back to back. They can't
Not this
spread it
level.
out
No,
like
not this level
they
for
can't
sure.
like. But yeah, all right. So the breakdown. So yeah, Jocelyn Edwards, pretty good striking, elite, pretty good, really good striking. I mean, on the feet, she's got hands. Takedown defense is pretty questionable, as we've seen in her last fight in the grudge match against Elian Perez, who wants to go for the takedowns and pretty much, sells out for them. She
Yeah,
couldn't stop any kind of takedown. And we've seen that in other fights too, but we've seen her also kind of wrestle when she wanted to in other fights against
right.
Cornhole.
Yeah,
And even though I thought she totally won that fight, she lost the fight, which was kind of
mm,
crazy.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think she's pretty good all around. And Vidal, I mean, the infamous, may I say it,
You can say it,
titty
man.
punch, titty
Yeah.
punch KO. I mean, 2 times I think. Like she's got hit in the
Well, she
titties
had one fight
and
stopped because of it, like paused, and then the
yeah,
other one
yeah. So
finished.
like, I mean, the durability obviously isn't there. I
Yeah,
mean, I don't know. Who knows? I don't know if she's very good. I mean, she's got good. She throws kind of winging hooks with like a lot of power, but there's no really technique behind it. Um, yeah, I don't think she's very good. I think this is Jocelyn Edwards all day, but I'm concerned of betting. I would want to bet Jocelyn Edwards by decision, but I'm concerned because of if fucking titty shot KO comes and you fucking get
yeah,
fucked. So
yeah.
yeah,
I could see Jocelyn Edwards finishing this fight at some point because I do think she is head and shoulders better than Vidal, especially after round one. Uh, but yeah, I mean, she's not really a finisher. She hasn't shown to be a finisher in her UFC career. So I feel like the decision is probably the safe bet. But yeah, it's tough. The way that this girl's been finished is it's unlike anything we've ever seen before. So I mean, um, and I can see a point where I mean, Jocelyn Edwards does have good cardio. She does have pretty good striking. She can be putting a pace on late in the fight, get her out of there. So yeah, I mean, I think Edwards is definitely the side. If she lost, it'd be probably getting knocked out in the first round. But I mean, that's tough to see. I don't really see that happening. So
yeah, I don't see her getting knocked out.
yeah, so I mean, not a great fight by any stretch, but I do feel like of all 3 of the fights, she's probably got
Joss
the most clear path to the victory
Jocelyn Edwards
of
for
the
me.
women's fight.
I'll probably parlay her. Like, I mean, I
Yeah,
like her. Yeah,
yeah, she's not terrible.
yeah.
And
Vidal, I'm
Vidal's
just
not very good.
sucks. Yeah.
All right, next fight on the card is in the bantamweight division. This one's interesting. We got Brad Katona taking on Gene Matsumoto. Katona, pretty decent striking, good wrestler. Matsumoto can be taken down, but he does scramble very well. He seems to have pretty decent cardio. We've only seen him in the UFC for I believe just the one fight, but that was an impressive fight. I mean, he got taken down a few times in that one. Looked like he was getting out wrestled, but he kept scrambling, and then eventually found the guillotine. So, good one here, I think. Pretty competitive, back and forth. Matsumoto, pretty sizable favorite, which I don't love. But yeah, what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I think this is Matsumoto all day right here. I mean, I'm not a Katona fan. I mean, Katona fights to just scrape and barely win fights. Like, He fights down to his opponent's competition. I don't
Yeah.
think he's very good. I mean, fights, he's minus 500. He's barely scraping a 20, 29, 28 decision in. You know, he's going to want to wrestle. He's decently well rounded, but I don't think he's really good anywhere.
Mhm.
And this Matsumoto kid, this kid's young. I'm high on this kid. He's solid everywhere. I mean, grappling, it's the takedown defense is a little bit to be desired, but as we've seen in his last fight, the jiu-jitsu is just on point, you know.
Yeah.
And the striking is there. The striking is crisp. The power is there. The subs are there. Yeah, this kid is a young kid, so he could be getting better. He could be working on that takedown defense, and I'm not high on Katona. Yeah, I think this is Matsumoto inside the distance for me. I think it's time for Brad Katona to take a nap.
You think he finishes him? Yeah. See,
Yeah.
I think it's relatively competitive for a good majority of the fight, but I agree with you. I feel like Matsumoto, at least what we saw in that last fight, he does seem to get stronger as the fight goes on. His takedown defense, while it's not great, he does get back to his feet, and the longer the fight goes,
He
he
makes
gets
you work.
quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like Katona desperation takedowns, even if it does go 3 rounds, I think Matsumoto is going to look like he's winning the fight more. He's just going to look better later in the fight. So I'm with you. I like Matsumoto. I don't like the price, but I do like the over.
Maybe Matsumoto and over 1.5.
Over 1.5. I feel like it's pretty
But
safe.
yeah, Katona is pretty durable. That's the thing.
Yeah.
But it's like I don't know. I can see Matsumoto getting out of there like quick.
Yeah,
I don't know. I envision Katona panic shooting for a takedown and catching a knee, and then like maybe a guillotine, and it's over. I don't know.
yeah, but I feel like that's still later in the fight though, because
Yeah,
Katona will throw hands. His striking's not great, but it's not terrible. Um, I feel like he'll be willing to strike for a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. I think Matsumoto over 1.5. That's probably the way to go. I could see him finishing the fight later. Um,
yeah.
but even in his last fight, like he finished in the second round with like 1 second left, and he
Yeah.
just pulled that gilly. You know, he held it for like 10 seconds, put him out the last second. So I think the over 1.5 is probably the way to go. Katona is durable. He goes to decision a lot. But I'm with you. I mean, I don't think he's just not great anywhere.
Well, he's older, and this is his second run, I think,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
so it's like, I mean,
yeah. The
this is
last, well, I can't remember the guy who he fought. He was a pretty big favorite,
and
like you
he went to
said.
decision with that guy.
Yeah, he took
That
him
guy
down.
fucking. It was some
Yeah,
bum off the street because of late pullout, and it was some fucking guy that was
yeah,
like a fucking
yeah. We
crumb.
thought he was going to finish him for sure. Like there
Yeah,
was no doubt. And he just kind of, he landed a few good elbows. He did some good work, but it was mostly
yeah.
just holding him down. The crowd was booing. It was one of those. That's just a frustrating fight, and you cannot beat Matsumoto fighting that way.
This
That's
kid
just
is
not.
good.
Gonna,
I
you're
like
not.
this kid. This kid is good. He's
Yeah, I
young.
think
He's
he's
good.
good. I think he's got a lot of upside. So I'm with you. I like him. I'm probably going to bet the over 1.5. Anybody who knows me knows I bet that quite frequently. That's probably the way I'm going to bet that fight.
Well, the over 2.5 is minus 375. So
With Matsumoto winning or just the over?
no, just the over 2.5.
Yeah, so I guess him with the over 1.5
You're,
is probably not going to pay very well.
it's
But
it's going to be like minus 200. So we're going to have to go Matsumoto, and you're going to have to pick. You're going to have to pick a side, whether it's
yeah,
inside the
maybe I'll
distance
use
or
him as a
decision.
parlay piece. I think he's a good
Yeah,
parlay
the
piece.
parlay piece. Yeah, great parlay
Yeah,
piece. Yeah.
that's probably the way to go. All right, next fight on the card is this. I think this is a good one. We've got Matthias Nicolau taking on Asu Almabayev. Flyweight fight. Nicolau coming off a couple knockout losses. But Almabayev mostly a grappler. He's got some decent striking. Nicolau's got very good takedown defense. I'm really curious to see what you have to say about this fight.
Yeah, I'm a Amabayev guy. I think this guy's another young kid that's good. I see him kind of on the same page as Matsumoto. Um, yeah, elite grappler. I mean, he's going to want to get it down. He's got good subs. Um, great cardio. Can go hard for 3 minutes for 3 rounds. And I really liked his striking in his last fight against Johnson. I mean, he showed patches where he was hanging on the feet, like he was
Yeah.
looking good. I think the striking's improving. I think he's pretty good. But Nicolao's one of these grimy, like old savvy vets, but like how much does this guy really have left in the tank? He's got good takedown defense, but I mean, Amabayev looks like he can pretty much take out anybody. He's a sticky guy. He's going to be on you. Um, can he defend those takedowns and kind of keep it on the feet? And even if he's on the feet, I think he's got a puncher's chance. I mean, he's always got those counter shots. He's not really much of a volume guy. He's more of a counter striker.
Yeah.
He's going to want to catch you with that counter and put you out. That's pretty much his path to victory now and at the point of his career. So I don't know. I'm just going to go with the better all around, more kid with the tools in the box and just better all around fighter. I'm probably Chalk City, but yeah, I'm taking him a 5.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take a shot on Nicola here.
I think if you take a shot with Nicola, you take the KO shot at a good plus number.
Yeah, it's probably not a bad way.
Because I don't really see Nicola winning a decision against this guy because this guy's going to be on your face. He's going to be grappling. He's going to throw volume. He's got volume on the feet. His striking is good.
Yeah. Well,
so
my thought was,
yeah.
I just like Nicola's takedown defense is really good. I mean, I went back and I was like, all right, I know his percentage is high, but who has he really fought? That's a grappler. And he held Tim Elliott to 1 of 10 on takedowns. And Tim Elliott's probably not as good a wrestler as Almabayev, but he is a very good wrestler. And he is a guy who does continue to shoot the takedowns, and he sticks to you. And so,
yeah.
well, my thing is, if Almabayev is able to get him down a couple times, Almabayev probably does win the fight pretty handily. But I feel like if Nicolau can stuff a few takedowns, his striking is really good. His volume sucks. There's no doubt about that. I mean, I hate him. His volume is just not there. But he is a decent striker. His counter strikes are very good. I just feel like he can make it competitive enough where the failed takedowns, he might make the failed takedowns look bad. Yeah, I mean, I could look like an idiot at the end of this one, but
no, I honestly I thought about Nicolau, but it's just like there's just no volume. It's like if you bet Nicolau,
exactly.
you taking the KO that he catches the kid and puts him to bed.
Yeah, I mean
he could, which he definitely could because his takedown defense is so good.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe
Almabayev has been knocked out once. It was to I forget who was.
Yeah, but he's a young kid. He's a young kid.
Yeah,
he can still bounce back
on the
from
regional scene. Which Ulanbek, like that's not a bad guy to get knocked. Like
Tagir. Tagir is pretty good.
Yeah, that's a good fighter. So. He has been finished, but it's been by a high level UFC guy. So, but yeah, I'm going to take the shot on Nicolau here. I don't love it. It's one of those fights where I hate if I get this one wrong for DFS, I'm a buy.
Well, if you play Nicolau in DFS, you're hoping for that early knockout.
I'm not doing that. I'm not going to play. I don't think I'll
play
him.
You just fade this fight. You fade,
but it's going to suck. It's going to suck if Almabayev does land like 7 takedowns and just
then you're just completely cooked.
Yeah,
land 7 takedowns and subs them in round 2, you're dead.
I think Nicolau's takedown defense so far has been proven to be good. If he does get taken down, it's probably going to be like 3 or 4 times. It's not going to be out of this world. But yeah, I'm going to roll with Nicolau. We'll see what happens. I'm not thrilled. Guys coming off 2 KO losses, not great. But he has fought some pretty high level guys. Yeah, we'll see what happens. This is this could be ugly, but I'll take the shot. All right, our next fight is another one I'm very interested to see what you have to say. Very close on the odds. We've got Darren Elkins taking on Daniel Pineda. Elkins kind of looked like he was cooked his last, couple fights ago, but he came back with a nice win in his last one. Really got his wrestling going. Pineda is pretty good, pretty well rounded. Has wrestling, is decent striker, cardio a little bit to be desired. What are your thoughts here?
Two old men.
Yeah,
That's my thought.
for sure.
Two dusty old men with. I mean, it's fitting they put these guys together because I don't think either of these guys have anything left.
Yeah.
So, but I just think Darren Elkins takes a lot of damage. I mean, the striking defense is not very good, very hittable. I mean, I don't think he's very durable, but he's one of those sneaky guys that can snatch something up and lock up a sub or whatever, But I just think Pineda is probably the more powerful striker and just probably catches him on the chin. And we've seen Elkins just get absolutely flatlined before. And Pineda is pretty strong in round one. So yeah, it's probably Pineda starches him in round one, or if he doesn't, Elkins maybe gets him late. But yeah, I'm gonna pick Pineda here to probably knock him out early.
Yeah, I'm on the opposite side again here. I'm not thrilled. I just think Elkins pushes a high enough pace. He's an absolute junkyard dog. He's taken a lot of damage recently, but so has Pineda. Pineda kind of struggled in the wrestling department with Alex Caceres, which is concerning. So I think Darren Elkins just gets the wrestling going early, doesn't try to stay on the feet, just try to wrestle right from the very beginning, and pushes a high enough pace, wears on Pineda. And I just think Elkins just has a little bit more dog in him at this point, and that's kind of that might just be enough. All right, the next fight is I don't have a graphic for it. It's the Jake Hadley fight. He's taking on can't even remember the kid's first name.
Cameron Smotherman.
Cameron Smotherman.
Cameron Smotherman. Yeah.
Smotherman coming in on I guess I think the fight was made today. Maybe it was made yesterday, but
yesterday was made yesterday.
Yeah. So Smotherman making his debut. Hadley, he's got a handful of fights in the UFC. I haven't really had time to look at Smotherman. I know he fought in the Contender Series, got finished pretty quickly by Gregorio. He's fought 3 times since, all 3 wins. And, Hadley's solid. I'm not really sold on him. I feel like he's probably going to be the side here, but I really haven't really broke down the fight. So, I guess if you guys have any thoughts, let us know.
Smotherman, I think, was on Contender Series, I believe. I think he might have been on a while ago.
Got knocked out by Haralampos, Gregorio in the first round.
Yeah, that was a while ago. He got starched. Yeah. Remember taping him. I was kind of high on him in that fight, but it might have been on Smotherman in that fight actually. But
he was like minus 195. I just watched it back. That was like one of the fights I just looked at just to see. And he was like minus 195 in that one.
Yeah, I was actually probably on Smotherman there. So I was kind of high on him. Got starched, obviously. Didn't really have too much time to look into it here. Like, I didn't look into him, but from what I remember, I mean, he's a pretty decently well-rounded kid, but I mean, level of competition isn't very good. Obviously, I mean, he kind of went all out there in his contender bout and kind of got starched. As we've seen, Gregorio isn't very good. As we've seen in the UFC, he's not very good. He fucking sucks.
Yeah.
So he got starched by him, and Jake Hadley, he impressed me in his last fight against Colin Loughran. He
Yeah.
was kind of on the fringe. He was kind of a fringe guy that really had a lot of potential coming from Cage Warriors, and just really didn't have the cardio and just didn't really have it late. So, but I don't know. He really impressed me in his last fight. I was on Loughran in the last fight, and he kind of did me in there. But yeah, this is probably Hadley here. I'm guessing maybe a Hadley inside the distance. Maybe I don't have a line on it on anywhere. I can't find a line. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I don't know. Lean Hadley, I guess, but he's probably going to be a huge favorite. So money line
I'm
will
more
probably
aggressive,
be
so
yeah. So money line will probably be insane. So who knows?
yeah, I'm kind of with you. Like I was kind of in that Hadley's not really UFC level kind of mode before his last fight, and then he kind of leveled up a little bit, and it's like, okay, yeah, that's the guy we thought he was coming into the UFC. So he looks like he's got some potential. Still yet to be seen if that's really true. And it could have been just a good fight, but yeah, I mean, I feel like pretty good spot here. Guy coming in on very short notice, um, just taking any opportunity he can get. Yeah, I feel like it's going to be Hadley. Probably be a pretty sizable favorite here. So not sure there's really a good way to bet him, but we'll see as time goes on what kind of odds we get. So we will move on to the next fight, which another guy that I was basically ready to write off. Charles Johnson taking on Sumadarji. Charles Johnson, another guy that I really liked. Had some weird fights in the UFC, didn't look great, but recently he's looked a lot better. I've been impressed, and he kind of looks like the guy that I thought he was. Taking on Sumadarji, who's a very good striker. It's basically what he does. Volume's not always there. Another guy that I've was high on at one point. I'm not so high on now. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I'm kind of a fan of Sumo Darji. I like his style. I mean, kind of the awkward kind of power striking, like decent striker, but we've seen like his durability isn't really all there. I mean, he's been cracked. The Matt Schnell fight, I mean, when you get finished by Matt Schnell, I mean, but to be fair, he had Matt Schnell on skates there in that fight.
Yeah,
He's an exciting. He's one of the guys like Suma Darji. I'm going to tune into his fight. He's an exciting guy. And
yeah,
Charles Johnson kind of. I mean, he surprised me in his last fight. I mean, he put out the round 3 monster and Josh Van in round 3.
yeah,
After it was probably 1-1 going into round 3, Josh Van looked like he was taking over that fight, and all of a sudden, bing bong bang, and Van's asleep, which is
yep,
something like Charles Johnson really isn't known for his power. So I think that might have just been a fluke, kind of just clean shot he got, fluke. Because I mean, you see this guy, he's a cardio guy, he's a decision guy.
for sure.
He usually turns it up the later the fights go.
Yeah,
Um, Big favorite here for Johnson, which is something that I don't like because I don't want to really like. I swore off before the Van fight that I would probably never bet this guy again. This guy was a fade, but I think he probably is the more technical striker here than Sumadarji, and that's the thing that I think will probably sneak him probably a 2-1 decision win,
yeah,
in a close fight. But yeah, I think this is probably Charles Johnson decision. He probably gets it done. Money line, I don't love, but I think Johnson wins.
yeah. I'm with you. I think Charles wins this fight. Um, he's just He's tough to put away. Sumadarji, his volume, he has had good volume fights in the past, but he's also his volumes. It's not always there. And sometimes he's just looking for the kill. Charles Johnson, yeah, he's just well-rounded, knows how to win fights. He's tall, he's lanky, he's awkward. Yeah, I think he gets it done. I think decision's definitely the way to go. He's like you said, I mean, he got to finish in the last fight, but he's not really a finisher. He just caught the perfect shot on Van. So yeah, I think Johnson's the play here. Johnson by decision. Yeah, and that's it. Competitive fight, but yeah, give me Johnson. And the next fight on the card is again another massive favorite. Well, not this is a bigger favorite here, which is a bit scary. We've got Rob Font taking on Kyler Phillips.
Co-main, right? Co-main event.
Yes, I believe this is co-main. Bantamweight bout. Kyler Phillips. I wrote this kid off after he lost to Raulian Paiva. Although, literally going back and watching the fight, there's no way he lost it. A draw at best, at worst, it should have been the decision. But his cardio definitely looked really bad after a round and a half. Seems to have turned the corner with that. But it's taking on Rob Font here, he's an absolute dog. He's fought the best of the best. He's known for his cardio, good striking, can be grappled. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, this one was very high on Kyler Phillips until that Raulian Paiva fight. Lost a lot of fucking money on that fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this guy loses the fight, gets popped for fucking steroids, and fucking the guy was fucking juiced to the gills and still lost. Comes back and has a pretty good performance on his comeback. He's looked pretty fucking good, and his cardio's looked pretty good. So maybe USADA's gone, and maybe he can take a few more supplements that
those EPOs going.
He wouldn't normally be able to, now. So
right.
Yeah, he looked really good in his last fight. He surprised me. Yeah, he looks good. The striking is sharp. His takedown defense is good. Grappling is good. Good, well-rounded kid. He's pretty fucking good. And Rob Font, guy's a dog, but he's just getting dropped in every fucking fight. Cheeto Vera dropped him like 3 times. He got dropped in his next fight. I forgot who it is.
Figgy didn't drop him, but he had him on skates bad. Had him wobbly.
Yeah, and he's just getting rocked in every fight. He's a good striker. He's a tough guy, but he's very fucking hittable. So
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe Phillips can put him away. Like I could see Phillips starching him. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing.
I like Kyler Phillips here. Yeah, I think this is a Kyler Phillips spot. I'm not high on Rob Font. I think he's just been through too many wars, too much damage. Yeah, I think this is a Phillips spot. Money line is shit. So maybe you can find something around the minus 200 range to parlay it with. Maybe get you like a minus 110. But yeah, I think it's a Phillips spot. I like Phillips here.
Yeah, me too. He's very fast and really like Rob Font is a very good striker, but speed is a problem for him. I think Phillips can pick him apart. He can land heavy damage. He can also grapple. Font's takedown defense and get ups did look better against Figgy. But he got pieced up in that fight too. He got rocked in that fight. And then in the third round, Figgy kind of hurt him and then took him down. And that was it. He was not getting off the mat. So, you see some chinks in the armor. He's definitely older. He's 36. Bantamweight, 36 years old. Not a great thing. Kyler Phillips, we're on the same page with him. We both thought he was really good, and then we both were pissed that we lost money on him. That Paiva fight.
And then he gets popped. After he loses.
You're like, all right, this kid's got no cardio. He's on steroids. He's done. His career's over.
And then the
And then
next
he
fight, he
comes
looks
back.
like a fucking stud.
Yeah, he's got cardio. Last 2 fights, 3-round fights. Cardio look good. But again, USADA's not there. Is he taking something? Is he on EPO?
Who
Who
knows?
knows? But if he is and he's winning fights, I mean, I'm not going to bet against the kid. It's not my fault. I'm not, I'm not doing it. I'm just betting what I see. So, yeah, I think Kyler Phillips is the play. I think he probably could put him out. But yeah, it's tough because Font is tough. He's been dropped, he's been hurt, but he is a tough guy to put away. But yeah, I think Phillips is a good parlay piece. I think he's just so much faster. And if he does get if he does get Font to the ground and he can't hold him down,
Oh, he can grapple.
that's a wrap. Yeah, it's a wrap at that point. He's got way better. His jiu-jitsu's nasty. Yeah, there's just so many ways for him to win the fight. So Kyler Phillips is a play for me. Yeah, that's probably a parlay piece. I can't say he's going to finish him, but I don't want to bet an over and then have him finish him in the first round because he does have some very good first rounds. So, yeah, probably just a parlay piece on the money line for me. And that brings us to our main event, a very, very interesting fight. 2 guys that I've been extremely high on for the past for the Pereira for the past 3 fights since he's moved up to middleweight. I've been all over him. Hernandez, I bet him pretty much every fight he's been in the UFC. Very good grappler, strong wrestling, strong jiu-jitsu, durable kid. But man, Pereira at 85, it's like anybody with the last name Pereira, when they move up a weight class, it's like they're deadly. So this one's tough. This is a very tough fight here. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think this is a tailor-made, pretty much striker versus grappler fight. I mean, it's who's going to get their game plan going. Like, if Fluffy can get his wrestling going, I think he could have a lot of success. But Michelle is really hard to take down, and the striking is pretty good. I mean, this is a crazy fight. Like, this is the toughest fight on the card for me to call. Like, I don't know what to do here. Like, I can see it going either way.
Yeah.
And, it's like I can see Michelle knocking him out early, or I can see like Fluffy getting like takedowns and subbing him in rounds like 2 or 3, like launching up a neck. Like, this guy is a fucking dog. He's good.
Yeah.
So I don't know. At the numbers, at the plus money, I probably take Michelle, but I don't know. This is a tough fight. Like, I really can't pick a side here. It's hard for me. But I'm going to lean Michelle Pereira probably to start him early and catch him. Maybe with like the head kick or something. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm with you, man. I wasn't sure if you'd have a strong take here, but you kind of feel the same way I feel. Like Fluffy has shown that his grappling when he gets it going, it's a problem, man. He's very dangerous. But my thought, the biggest problem I had with Pereira was his cardio. And that was because he was fighting at 170 pounds. His cardio was absolutely atrocious, although it actually did get better the later run that he had at 170. But he wasn't finishing people because he was drained. Most of his fights went to decision, and when he did win, when he did finish fights, it was late, which was only like 1 or 2. But at 85, I feel like his cardio is very good. I feel like he is a good grappler. He's got submissions on his record. He's got good takedown defense. He can grapple. So at 85, he's a real problem. His striking's a problem. He's big. His cardio's better. So I feel like I have to lean Pereira here. This is a 5-round fight. If Hernandez comes out, just bites on an ankle early, forces him, into the later rounds, can cardio be a factor? It probably could. but I feel like I have to go with Pereira, man. I just feel like he's a totally different fighter at 185. And I think he could start Hernandez. I really do. I think he could hit Hernandez. Johnny, something must have just happened in the Dodgers game that
Yes.
I'm missing here. But I think Pereira's aside for me. I love Hernandez. I've bet him pretty much every fight he's been in the UFC. Tough to bet against him, but I've got to roll. I've got to roll with Pereira here.
Yeah, I'm with you.
All right, that will do it. As always, we are going to be live all weekend. Johnny, you're not going to be on the show, right? You're going to be off.
Yeah, final words for me here. Good luck, boys. Hope you guys crush. I won't be here this weekend, but I might pop in here and there. I probably will, because that motherfucker Keg will be on Detroit, and I will pop in and fucking bury his fucking ass on Sunday when the Vikings win. So I will be here. I will make an appearance. I'll be gone, but not far. I'll be around. Hope you guys crush. Have a weekend.
Hold on, Johnny. One more thing.
Okay.
Jason asked earlier if we have any thoughts on the PFL card, the Ngannou and Cyborg fights. Me personally,
No. Well,
I'm on Cyborg. I think Cyborg is
yeah.
going to kill Pacheco.
Yeah.
And I do like Ngannou. He's fighting for his son. His son passed away roughly a year ago now. So for me, I'll take Ngannou and I'll take Cyborg.
Yeah, if you guys watched the show over the few weeks, I pretty much. Oh, we dropped it. Okay. I pretty much said I like Cyborg here. She's probably the women's MMA GOAT. I'll be on her, and probably Ngannou. Probably will be on Ngannou, but I'll be in the Discord. I'll still be around. I'm not fucking leaving. I'll be around, so we'll be here.
Not fucking leaving.
Not leaving yet.
All right, boys, that'll be it. We will be live. If you followed us, we absolutely dominated last weekend. We dominated UFC. We dominated NASCAR. We dominated NFL. Looking to do it again. Johnny, enjoy your vacation. For the rest of you, we'll see you this weekend. And as always, good luck.
Laters.